What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bogle Art Statue Review channel. Today we're going to be looking into this box right here. It's one of my absolute favorite characters of the entire Dragon Ball franchise. So let's get this box open, check out the box art, check out the statue, see the pros, see the cons, and do what we usually do. Stick around. Alright guys, first things first, let's look at the box art. So of course we are looking at the KRC Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta from Dragon Ball GT today. I was really excited about this piece. I pre-ordered it a really long time ago. It definitely hits really hard and it's an awesome piece in the collection, but the first thing we're going to look at is this awesome box art here. This is put out by Marcus Zimmerman, I believe, and they did a really good job, KRC did. So I really like the box art here in the front, really high resolution image, really clear, looks really good. They kind of went a little different as far as putting designs in different sides, so I'm gonna have to move the box around a little bit, but this is the front, looks really fantastic. Drop the box down, and this is gonna be the side here. 3 different poses and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, the KRC logo. Of course, I love the back with the Uzaru, the lightning, the moon, just showing the origins of how they become the Super Saiyan 4. All details, little sign by Mark Zimmerman here. I did actually get this from animecollect.com. I think the price has went down a little bit since it originally hit the website, so check it out. You'll have to see on that, but yeah, more logo here, nothing really on the bottom, so let's get to the actual good stuff. Let's check out the statue and really get in and see some of those details. All right, guys, so here he is in all his glory. This is the quarter scale Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta from Dragon Ball GT. I am particularly partial to the Super Saiyan 4 form, and that is because when I was in the 4th grade, me and a few friends were just absolutely obsessed with Dragon Ball, and we drew it, and you know, it led on to a passion of collecting and seeking out new information on series, and it really just opened the gate for what I do pretty regularly now as an adult. I had a friend of mine approach me and say, hey, playing around on the internet, which we didn't have a lot of access to back then, but finding images of this, and my friend showed me, it was a really big deal, and I've always wanted to know more about Super Saiyan 4, and it wasn't until years later until I would see the story and see the series and see how it happened. And the series is arguably, like, maybe not the best written series of the Dragon Ball franchise, but the style of artwork was just really appealing to me, and that's what I cared about because I like to draw this stuff a lot as a kid, and I still like to draw a lot of it now today. So now that this kind of thing exists in the world, I'm definitely nabbing these up because it just really looks great, and it really pushes what the boundaries of what these characters really are and were, and I really love it. I love the Super Saiyan form. I tend to collect a lot of it. It's not necessarily my favorite storyline, like I said, but aesthetically it's amazing. So let's start off with the COA here. The card here is really cool. It's a really thick, hard, crisp card. It has a really fun texture on it. I really like it. It's kind of like an extra matte finish. It's really nice. Marcus Zimmerman's signature here. This is number 31. Edition size is 200. So number 31 out of 200. It has some really good artwork right here on the front. The back, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. It reads, this is a fan art custom resin statue. It is professionally sculpted and produced by KRC. This is a part of a limited edition and will never be rerun. So let's get into some of the details of the actual statue now. So first things first is the proportions, the height, the likeness, all of that. I think it's really on point. This is like, in my opinion, the perfect quarter scale as far as, it's not too big, not too small. When I first saw the digital sculpt of this, I originally thought the head was a little too big for the body. A lot of the fans vocalized that, and I think they made the adjustment because now it looks substantially better. Vegeta is a shorter character, but he's, you know, certainly close to the same age as Goku. So it makes sense that his head would be a touch bigger than in proportion to the rest of his body because he is a shorter character. But seeing it in person, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love the movement of the tail. I love the fur texture. The paint is awesome. Let's start down here with the base first. I kind of like to go from the bottom and just slowly work my way up. So the base is cool. I really like this really clean black trim that they have going on around here. Really, really clean. The Dragon Ball GT logo is pretty good. It's definitely hand painted. It just magnetizes right in. It's a little lightweight, it's a little thin. I've seen some other ones, like obviously the Tsume ones and everything like that are really, really crisp and nice. This one's pretty good, but it is, you know, it's not the most detailed thing in the world, but it does hold up and make the statue look pretty good. This statue is also an incredible price for what you get, and I think that they were really trying to keep the cost as low as possible, which I appreciate. Not every statue needs to be like some, you know, wallet robber kind of thing. So the base that he's standing on here, which we will insert some photos, is a broken tile base floor from the show. I really like the glass pieces. I just think that the base could have been a little dirtier, a little more weathered, a little more texture. The paint job's pretty good. I mean, everything's the same color it should be, I guess, and the glass is transparent, which I thought was really good. It's a nice little touch. They originally had the glass where you fitted in the spots and you just kind of literally got like a bag of glass. Kind of had a little bit of a meth vibe, to be quite honest, from what I saw. It looked kind of strange. But whenever I got this, they went ahead and added the glass in here and glued it down, which I'm really glad they did, because who wants to sit there and put the glass in? Just glue it in. I mean, it's not going anywhere. So they did that. I'm really stoked with that. I do think it could have been, the floor could have been dirtier, could have had, I mean, it's broken and cracked. I mean, it kind of looks freshly painted, so that's kind of whatever, but that's just more personal preference. I like extra battle-worn, you know, scenery kind of things. That's just my taste. Moving up into the boots look absolutely great. They're true to the colors from the anime. There's no real texture going on, though. With a quarter scale, I like to see some texture. And now in the 6 scales, when you add texture to the clothing and to the leather and all that kind of stuff, sometimes it can be too much for the scale of the statue. But this being a quarter scale, I think that they probably could have got away with maybe doing some leather on the boots, or maybe just a little bit of texture in the pants here. Again, that's just preference. So, yeah, this is all really smooth. There could have been some panel lines in the cuts here. I think that could have been a little bit more detail that they kind of skipped on, but ultimately the sculpt is amazing and it's really clean. There is one part down here that was kind of a drag. The foot doesn't totally sit absolutely flush with the floor here. The back foot does, but his right front foot doesn't. I tried heating it a little bit with a blow dryer to see if it would settle and sink in. That didn't really work, and I didn't really want to heat it too much and compromise the paint. If I messed the paint up on this, I'd have a much bigger problem. Really only if this statue is sitting real high and it's kind of up level, you notice there's the gap in the foot on the floor. But pretty much if it's like lower than eye level, you don't notice it, and it's really not that big of a deal. It's not a game changer for me, but I do wish it sat a little bit more flush. The color schemes are really good. The pants are painted really well. I've seen other Super Saiyan 4 resins where the paint on the pants was just not good at all. Like, it actually deterred me from buying it. But I'm glad I held out and just waited for this guy. Yeah, pretty much. The fur is really nice. I like that a lot. The texture is good. The paint's pretty good. again, like I paint statues and I really enjoy doing it a lot. So of course I'm going to think of all the things that I probably would have done. But again, I'm not painting 200 of these, you know, so I get why they do these things, but I probably would have ran a slight dry brush over the fur just to pull out a little bit more detail, because the flow of the fur looks really, really good and there's a lot of movement. And I think that they kind of missed it by, you know, there's so much detail in it that if a very slight extra soft dry brush probably would have pulled a little bit more of that detail out. But again, that's just preference. Moving up in here into the face and the skin tone. The skin tone is perfect. I love the skin tone. I love the shading and the shadowing of the brown. It's absolutely perfect. Couldn't have really asked for anything more. The face looks on point. The expression is great. The sculpture is great. His hair is the perfect color. It's the perfect shape. I like that the pieces of hair that come over the shoulders don't actually connect. You can tell they're separate pieces. They almost kind of float over his chest, and that looks absolutely great. I really would have thought maybe they would have tried to make that one piece, but I'm really glad that they didn't. That looks really, really great. His hair is awesome. It looks just like what I would think it would look like in a 3D form. The statue is relatively simple, which I really like. I don't necessarily like gigantic dioramas with all this stuff going on, multiple characters and lightning effects and, you know, auras and all this kind of stuff. That stuff's cool, like sometimes, and I have a few pieces that do that, but ultimately my taste is just a simple, solid design that doesn't have a whole lot of fragile pieces coming off of it. As far as this statue being durable and rigid, it's definitely that. It's a solid piece. I really would not be concerned about this getting broken in shipment. The tail pops right off of here. And then Vegeta comes right out of the base. So it's really just the logo here, the base, Vegeta, the tail, and I think that's it. Everything else is one piece. But yeah, I love the simplicity of it. I think that they could have gone a little bit further with the paint, but again, trying to keep costs down and make these affordable for everyone. You just kind of got to decide, you know, do we want everyone to be able to get this piece, or do we want to really hike up the price and put every kind of ounce of detail in it and hopefully sell those at a higher cost. The box really isn't that big, so shipping wasn't that much for it being a quarter scale. I was impressed with that, and again, it came packaged beautifully. No concerns about it being broken if I go to sell it again later or anything like that. I doubt I will, because I absolutely love this piece. I would really love to see a Goku to go with this. If we had a Goku in another pose with a similar base where they could go next to each other, and maybe having Vegeta kind of glaring at Goku a little bit if he was over here, I think that would be a fantastic idea. Wink, wink, definitely maybe consider doing that, because this would look great. So besides like adding a little bit more detail in the paint, I think this is a really great statue. I would say it's probably around a 3 out of 5, a 5 out of 5 being like, this is hands down the best statue in my entire collection. A 4 out of 5 being like, maybe not my favorite in the whole collection, but a really, really nice heavy hitter piece. This is a 3. I love it in the collection. It looks great. It balances out my other quarter scales. I really like it. I just think that they kind of missed a window for a little bit extra detail. But again, I understand, you know, so, but yeah, I really enjoyed this piece. I was really happy when it came in. It's a really affordable piece. There's no light up features, which is fine with me. Honestly, the light up features, I just don't care about that much. It's cool for a second when you plug it in and it's super bright and wow, that's really cool. But ultimately, I just don't need it. I don't light up my statues all the time. You know, it's kind of unnecessary. It's one more thing to break. Batteries leak inside the base. It's whatever. I don't need it. So, but this is a simple statue, a great price. It's fantastic. It looks really balances out other quarter scales. So if you're thinking about purchasing one, I believe animecollect.com still has a few on there if I'm not mistaken. So don't sleep, because once this goes, you're going to be bummed that you did not get this one. All in all, it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I don't know. So that's pretty much all I have to say about it, I guess. But Yeah. So let's go ahead and get a height measurement on this. So in case that you guys are thinking about this and you have a spot selected on a shelf, it's definitely gonna work for you in that location. So let's start off with, this is the only tape measure I could find. So you're looking at right at 18 inches, like to the very tip here, I believe. Let me double check, but yeah, right at 18 inches. So if you have a shelf this is going on, make sure that you're at least a little bit over 18 inches because the tip of this is right at 18. If your shelf is exactly 18, it's not gonna work. The base would be probably about 10 inches wide, so 10 inches in diameter. And the next thing we're going to do is get a weight on this in case you're putting this on any kind of glass or anything like that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so this is 11 pounds and 15.5 ounces. So not super heavy for what you get for a big solid base and a quarter scale statue. It's really not that heavy. You could probably get away with putting it on like some 1/4 inch glass. I would not do it on the 1/8 inch glass and a detolf. If you're planning on putting it in a detolf, I would double up your glass for sure. Those I think are regulated to handle 10 pounds. This is a little over, so to prevent the world's greatest catastrophe in your collection, double up your glass if you're planning on putting it in a detolf. Also, I doubt it would fit in a single case. You would probably have to take one of your shelves out to get it to fit in there. So definitely just know that and prepare for that when you get this guy in your collection. All in all, it's a fantastic statue. I absolutely love it. Communication with Marcus Zimmerman is always awesome. He's a good dude. So hit him up. I'm sure they have a couple more in stock, and get this guy in your collection. He's badass. So thanks for joining us. This was awesome. This is, again, one of my absolute favorite characters. He's such a badass. I love seeing him go into his Zaru form and then crushing that down. Actually, just kidding, he didn't go into his Zaru form. Vegeta uses a machine to get to this form. Goku uses the Uzaru form in the natural way. Vegeta always has an issue catching up to Goku, so I believe he uses, if I remember correctly, he uses a machine to get to this form. So again, he kind of bypasses the Uzaru thing. Can't believe I forgot that, but he did. So, Vegeta, you are always trying really hard to get to Goku's level, but I hear that shit's annoying. So, anyway, thanks for joining us. This is awesome. I love this character, love this statue. Hope you guys get it. If you do, or you have any questions about it, please go ahead and comment below. If you have any specific questions, let me know. If you guys need to see any kind of specific angle or any kind of photo, let me know and I'll try to drop that for you. But make sure to like this video. That really, really helps out a lot. The more likes and the more subscriptions and the more comments and the more bell clicks we get, the more engagement we get. And that is good for everybody around. So thanks for joining us, and hang out. We're going to be getting a bunch of shipments in really, really soon on a bunch of new pieces. So we got a whole bunch of new reviews coming your way, not just Dragon Ball, but from things like Berserk. We have a DC piece coming. We have a bunch of other anime on the way for the next couple months, so we are going to be super busy. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time. See you later.